Sonic the Hedgehog is the fastest thing alive and a freedom fighter battling to save the world from the tyrannical Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik.
He's not so bad for a tree-hugging hippie.
Sonic's most notable ability is his speed. He can easily break the sound barrier in mere seconds. While his top speed is unknown, he has clocked in an average of 765 miles per hour.
Holy crap, this guy must blow through shoes.
He can further increase his speed with his trademark figure-8 technique.
But he's not just fast on his feet. He can curl up into a spiky ball and rip through his opponents with the spin attack.
His homing attack rockets toward an opponent and can hit multiple times.
And with his spin dash, he can reach top speeds almost instantly. How does this guy not vomit?
During his adventures, he has used a variety of different shields to improve his abilities. Each shield can deflect minor projectiles and have environmental advantages, though they will disintegrate after blocking a deadly blow.
The fire shield can absorb, well, fire and heat, though it can't survive underwater. No shit. But with it, Sonic can use a fiery dash attack.
The lightning shield can't survive in aquatic environments either, but it gives Sonic a mid-air jump for further aerial control.
And with the bubble shield, he can breathe underwater and control his jumps with a powerful bounce. Why do we keep mentioning water, you may ask? Cause he can't freaking swim.
Sonic's ultimate power-up, however, isn't a shield at all. After absorbing thousands of power rings during his adventures, Sonic has become an embodiment of chaos. Using the power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds, Sonic can tap into their incredible powers and summon the form of Super Sonic.
Super Sonic can fly, breathe underwater, and is completely invulnerable.
Not to mention his speed is increased 1,000-fold.
But as with most things that are unbelievably powerful, it has a time limit. Without a steady supply of power rings, it can't even last a full minute.
And when the form finally subsides, Sonic returns to normal at peak physical form, regardless of his condition prior to the transformation.
While Sonic's always risking his life saving the world from all kinds of dangerous robots and demigods, he's kind of a dick.
Sonic is cocky, arrogant, and addicted to action. He gets cranky and unstable when he's cooped up for too long.
And if you ignore him, he'll straight up leave you.
But despite his rough personality, he'll do whatever it takes to save the day.
Ooh, I like to hang, but I got a juice.
Somewhere out there, on a strange alternate version of Earth, humans coexist with anthropomorphic animals. But this world has been assailed over and over by the vile Dr. Ivo Robotnik, otherwise known as Eggman.
Why the heck does he need such a dumb alias when he's already got a name as cool sounding as Robotnik?
But hope persisted. Whenever the Eggman hatched a scheme, one did not have to wait long for a certain blue streak to speed by. This was Sonic the Hedgehog.
He's the fastest thing alive!
He's the fastest thing alive!
While Sonic has a superhuman physique overall, speed is his speciality. In fact, superhuman speed is a natural trait for the anthropomorphic hedgehog, though Sonic's abilities are far superior to his kin.
Wait a minute, all hedgehogs have super speed? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, real hedgehogs are also nocturnal, not blue, and when they try to make friends with foxes, they get eaten. So I don't think Sega cares.
Alright then, to stop Eggman from turning all his animal pals into batteries, Sonic cranked up that speed and weaponized it. He can crush his enemies with the spin attack, strike multiple times with the homing attack, go 0 to Sonic Boom instantly with the super peel out, and plow through hordes of badniks with the spin dash. Holy crap! I think this guy would just vomit all the time.
He's also used a number of power-ups throughout his adventures, including elemental shields. The Aqua Shield is especially useful as it grants him an incredibly high bouncing jump and protection against his greatest nemesis.
Robotnik?
No, water.
Seriously, Sonic, buddy, learn to swim already and save our ears from that nightmare music.
The blue hedgehog can also gain abilities from small alien beings called wisps.
They can turn him into a fireball, a yellow drill, a black hole, a bunch of stuff really, even a demonic hungry hippo.
But before we delve any further, there is something vital which we need to discuss. It's time to figure out Sonic's speed.
Oh boy, here we go.
While he has boasted that he is faster than light, Sonic has yet to prove this in canon without the aid of additional equipment or power-ups.
Oh yeah, like when he connects to a trail of rings. But you can't take his bragging too seriously. He's still got some of that radical 90s attitude.
I'm out of here.
The highest official description of Sonic's speed labels him as hypersonic, or somewhere between Mach 5 and Mach 10. This actually isn't too far-fetched. The game Sonic Unleashed records his speed, and he can reach a maximum around 3,500, SPD.
Sonic, he's got an STD. Sonic, it burns when he pees.
Assuming SPD translates to metric meters, given the game's Japanese development, that puts Sonic's top speed over 7,872 miles per hour. Over 10 times the speed of sound, and just over the official hypersonic description.
So, is that it?
Well, it's possible, no, likely, that he's faster. In TV shows closely tied to the games, Sonic has dodged meteors, did this with a 10,000 frame per second camera, and even outran lightning. All of which implies that he can move and react around 200 to 300 times the speed of sound.
How about that one time he caught up to a cyan wisp? He said that thing's almost as fast as him, even without its laser mode.
That's right, the laser is a power it grants Sonic, not itself. Still, wisps are incredibly fast. At one point, a group of them flew from Earth's surface to a black hole in orbit in the 20 seconds Sonic and Tails were talking. By measuring the planet's curve here, we can find that the wisp aliens must have been moving around Mach 200. As Sonic is faster than them, this supports his cartoon feats.
Why isn't that black hole sucking up the Earth? That's what they do, right?
It's more like a pseudo-black hole fueled by hyper-go-on energy.
Yeah! If I didn't know better, I'd swear you just made those words up.
Its presence near Sonic does emulate that of a singularity, and Sonic actually outran its pull for 30 seconds. Due to chaotic accretion, black holes pull non-orbiting mass inward at 30% the speed of light. Sonic's clearly pushing his running speed to its limit here, or else the black hole wouldn't have pulled him in. With this in mind, it's entirely possible that, without additional support, Sonic's maximum possible running speed must be around 200 million miles per hour.
That's insane! The fastest man-made object in real life was the New Horizons space probe, which took off at more than 36,000 miles per hour.
It took 9 years for this probe to reach Pluto, but with Sonic's speed, he could make this same trip to Pluto in less than 24 hours.
While we're tracking speed, I've always wondered how fast I can chug a beer. Start the clock, Wiz!
Are you gonna start?
I'm already done.
Moving on. Even with this unbelievable speed, Sonic has far more power hidden up his sleeves.
He doesn't wear a shirt.
He can achieve the form of Super Sonic by absorbing an enormous amount of positive energy from the 7 legendary Chaos Emeralds. In this mode, he can teleport large objects, survive planet-level explosions, launch energy attacks, and fly near the speed of light.
But guess what? This isn't even his final form.
After the Emeralds received a boost from the Master Emerald, Sonic could achieve his ultimate state of being, Hypersonic.
He's got all the abilities of Super Sonic, plus total invincibility, and a hyper flash that insta-kills everything around him. Oh, and he's definitely faster than light now.
Unfortunately, good things don't last forever. Without a steady supply of rings, these super forms can't even stick around for a full minute.
Sonic has resisted mind control from the Overmind, survived re-entry from orbit, and blasted apart a mountain. This would need more than 200 tons of TNT to pull off. And while fighting his evil RoboCopy Metal Sonic, they shattered this enormous stalactite. Holy shit, just look at the size of it!
By comparing it to the buildings in this city and applying the density of granite, the most common rock in continental crust, we found that this stalactite must weigh almost 47 million tons. Which means a break like this would need a force of almost 200 kilotons of TNT.
Damn! He's definitely got what it takes to save the world from a madman scientist, even if he is kind of a dick.
Well, Sonic may be a bit arrogant, and he's certainly a thrill seeker, but at his best, he's the definition of honest and heroic. He's used his powers to defeat Eggman time and time again, even against gigantic death machines and cataclysmic events.
Those cute and cuddly forest critters can rest easy when Sonic's gotta go fast.
I'll show you how outclassed you really are.
I'm in a class all my own. Time to put up or shut up, Infinite.
Many years from now, Earth will be no more.
Yep, because these hentai aliens are gonna drop a bomb that kills everyone and transforms all the animals into furries.
Welcome to Mobius, homeworld of Sonic Maurice Hedgehog, leader of a guerrilla anthropomorphic freedom fighting group at war with the cybernetic empire of Ivo Robotnik, aka Dr. Eggman.
So, yeah, comic book Sonic is a little different from the video games. While leading his Care Bear Viet Cong in the fight against obesity and male pattern baldness, Sonic became a super skilled fighter, and he wasn't doing it for nothing. Robotnik had turned his entire family into robot slaves. What a dick.
Sonic is fast as always, but in this timeline, fast takes on new meaning. He's quick enough to create tornadoes, cause after images, turn invisible, phase through objects, and boost past light speed in the blink of an eye. He can dodge lightning and even move in between the raindrops of a downpour.
Look at this! He grabbed water and threw it like a baseball in less than .0000, a lot of zeros in a millisecond. He can run around the entire cosmic interstate in less than a day, and that's a highway that cuts through the multiverse. How does he get that fast on an all-chili dog diet? I mean, they give me the runs, but not that way.
He could reverse a black hole generator with his momentum alone, which then imploded, somehow sending him 849,000 light years away. Sonic's speed is so impressive that he can even move through stopped time. Let me repeat that. Time was frozen and he could still move. There is no earthly method of measuring such impossibility. In the words of the comic itself, Sonic's speed is incalculable.
I know the Archie Sonic comics can get weird, like really weird, but that's just crazy.
You call it crazy, I call it chaos.
Just like my conception, I'm told.
No, I mean chaos as in the Chaos Force, an extra-dimensional field of infinite and omnipotent energy. This chaos takes physical form on Mobius in the shape of magical power rings and perfectly hewn emeralds.
And Sonic loves collecting those rings. By the time he'd scooped up 1 billion of them, the gods were so impressed they put him in a book of world records and gave him a permanent force field that makes him way tougher than anybody else.
Along with shielding his spirit and mind. But that's not all. By gathering a large amount of chaos energy, he can transform into the almighty golden Super Sonic.
Eat your heart out, Akira Toriyama.
Super Sonic possesses incredible power. He can use chaos energy for defensive barriers and beams capable of shattering moons.
Somehow, he's even faster than before, and he's totally invincible. Like when he fought the demigod and possible power drink, Enerjack. This guy could rip people apart molecule by molecule. But no dice with Super Sonic.
Like the video game, Sonic's super forms have a time limit, and now this limit can even be cut short through overuse of power. However, he battled Enerjack from day into night, so it must be able to naturally last much longer than the games, potentially over an hour.
But that's not even his final form. If he's got something as good as a Super Emerald around, he can go Ultra.
Ultra Sonic appears to possess all of Super Sonic's abilities and then some. Specifically, he can tap into the raw magic of chaos.
Yeah, there's a bunch of wizards running around Archie Sonic Land, like this Mammoth Mogul guy. Turns out they're all using the same Chaos Force.
Ultra Sonic can manipulate matter at an atomic level, changing its fundamental makeup.
Turning air to water, moving rocks around, opening portals across space-time, that kind of stuff. But while he's never changed other living beings before, it's not totally out of the question. Right, dummy?
You're correct, Boomstick. Although Ultra Sonic is not as proficient, this ugly monster wizard uses the same chaos magic, and he changed a partial robot rabbit into a full regular rabbit. A sentence so absurd, it likely damaged my internal processor.
Don't worry, it was never great. I took it from a refrigerator. Ultra Sonic has altered his own body to better traverse difficult terrain. With all this in mind, he could theoretically be able to change the molecular makeup of others too. Just like this.
Ow.
But if changing molecules isn't crazy enough, we need to talk about something even crazier.
Chaos itself. Chaos magic is typically used for one of 3 things: increasing physical ability, providing lost knowledge, and granting wishes.
Like a freaking genie. Sonic's wish to reverse brainwashing, turn back time, revive the dead, and even rewrote all reality in his whole multiverse with a Kamehameha Chaos Beam. Okay, if he can literally just wish his problems away, you'd think he'd have way less trouble dealing with a fat ginger named after breakfast food.
Honestly, he rarely did, but Sonic's a glutton for adventure and action. So over the years, he and the Good Doctor formed an unhealthy codependent relationship.
Just like us. Life's not the same without his oval-shaped enemy to beat up on. So they're back at it every chance they get. Come on, guys, just get a room already.
But after being defeated so many times, both Eggman and Mogul independently came to the same conclusion. By collecting so many rings and emeralds over the years, Sonic has become a literal embodiment of chaos itself. As in, he's a variable that cannot be accounted for, a wrench in the cogs of reality. Without him even realizing it, fate bends to him.
You know you're a badass when the most powerful chaos wizard out there decides the only way to beat you is to just wait it until you die of old age.
It's ridiculous, it's absurd, it's unexplainable.
It's Sonic the freaking Hedgehog.
Ooh, I like to hang, but I got a juice.
Now that's what I call a death battle!
Their power-ups seemed evenly matched, countering blow for blow.
Mario was even able to counter the unstoppable Super Sonic.
But with their arsenals exhausted, Mario was no match for Sonic's natural speed. Even if they had used their lesser-known power-ups like the Ice Flower or Super Emeralds, there's no reason to say the result would be any different.
Looks like Mario just couldn't keep up.
The winner is Sonic the Hedgehog.
KO! Whoa! How did that happen? I know Nintendo won the console wars, but I really seem to remember Sonic having this one in the bag.
I'm sure Sonic could have won in specific circumstances, but more times than not, Mario takes the victory. Keep in mind this analysis was done with a focus on the games and their closely tied media, excluding alternate contrary sources like the Archie comics or the Mario Brothers movie, where Mario and Sonic are essentially entirely different characters from their gaming counterparts.
Sonic had speed in the bag, obviously, but Mario was way too tough for him.
Their top strength feats paint this picture very, very clearly.
But I know what you're thinking. What good is Mario's strength if he couldn't even hit the blue blur? He's way too fast, right?
Yes and no. While Mario obviously couldn't match Sonic's relativistic top-running speeds, he's moved efficiently as a bolt of electricity and piloted the Star Diver. Based on our calculations, this puts him at the same level as Sonic's own reactionary feats. Since Mario was tough enough to tank almost anything Sonic could throw at him, it was only a matter of time before he tagged the blue blur with a deadly blow.
But what about Chaos Control? Couldn't Sonic just stop time and take care of things while...
It's heavily implied he knows how to, but Sonic has never actually used the time stop ability in canon. Even then, Mario's stopwatch does the same thing, putting them on equal footing.
Ah, don't do that! Where's my wallet?
Actually, most of Mario and Sonic's power-ups countered each other in this way. Mario even had plenty of options for defending against Sonic's invincible super forms. But Mario also had a much wider variety of power-ups, offering multiple ways to overpower Sonic. For example, he could have frozen Sonic solid, or even turned him into gold. His arsenal would always outlast Sonic's because he's been shown to carry more of them on his person.
Oh god! Oh, I've seen things!
But even then, Mario's durability blew Sonic's out of the water. Even if we assume the 200 kiloton stalactite feat was entirely Sonic's doing, Mario survived an explosion that was 12 times more powerful. Simply put, Sonic didn't have a lot of viable options that could take Mario down for good.
I always knew Sonic was impressive, but Mario is just ridiculous. Probably that mustache.
Sonic was obviously incredibly fast, but he couldn't compete with Mario's superior strength, durability, and varied arsenal.
He got Mario'd.
After 100 episodes, you still can't think of a good pun?
No, but now they can see me do this. Ah, check it out, Wiz.
The winner is Mario.
KO!
So that happened.
Yeah, what happened exactly?
Well, this matchup was incredibly complex. Given their speeds were impossible to calculate, speed alone was, ironically, somewhat of a non-factor in comparison. Sonic in his base form didn't really stand a chance against Wally. Sure, he did seem to survive being launched 849,000 light years into an alien planet by a black hole imploding. However, considering he's been knocked out by far less, black holes are already imploding stars, and it seems some snow also inexplicably survived the trip. It's probably more likely the black hole acted as a sort of wormhole in its last moments and sent Sonic directly there. But if we assume Sonic was indeed blasted through space, a black hole's last moment usually results in an abrupt detonation equivalent to 5 trillion tons of TNT. Impressive, but the infinite mass punch could still deliver over 2 quadrillion times more power.
But Sonic's super forms were a different story. They had answers to almost all of Wally's skills. His chaos energy could replenish stolen speed, he was invincible, and he had freaking wish powers.
Personally, I was expecting the opposite result. Against almost anybody else, Archie's version of Sonic is practically unbeatable. But across a greater percentage of possible scenarios, Wally just happens to be the exception.
He had every counter he needed too. The speed steal wouldn't stop Super Sonic, but Wally still got that stolen speed for himself.
Super and Ultra Sonic were essentially batteries of unlimited kinetic energy Wally could pull from. Even with their speeds being incalculable, this meant Wally could ensure he was faster. Plus, Wally performed a lot more of those incalculable speed feats than Sonic ever did, so he technically held an experience advantage in that field.
Chaos Wish Power would be an insta-win against basically anybody, but Chaos Magic uses physical energy. And guess what? Wally could phase through reality warping energy.
And jump through time or vibrate to a higher spatial dimension to avoid Sonic altogether. Even though he had no way to take down Sonic's super forms, Wally has proven capable of effortlessly moving and vibrating at top speeds for days on end.
So it wasn't too hard for him to just wait out the super forms and strike at the first good opportunity.
And when it came to Ultrasonic's ability to alter atomic structures, Wally possessed perfect control over his own individual molecules.
But hey, Sonic's the embodiment of chaos. Fate automatically bends to him or whatever.
Except Wally has broken fate a few times himself. The best example being when he ran to the end of reality and forced the concept of death itself to die.
Because Speed Force.
Simply put, Sonic's hypothesized nature as an anomaly in reality just wasn't enough protection against someone who could also break the rules of reality.
And remember, when Wally raced Barry, their speed almost tore apart the multiverse.
Both these characters understandably seem overpowered to an extreme fault, but it's important to remember that in their respective worlds, the story comes first. Sonic was impressive, improbable, inexplainable, but Wally had the power, the counters, and the speed he needed to pull ahead in this absolutely mind-bending battle. Oh, the drink is kicking in.
Whiz! I ran to Jupiter! I'm a god! A speed god!
Incredible. Tell me, what cosmic insight have you learned?
Just one thing. Well, Sonic didn't know it. The writing was on the wall, E!
The winner is the Flash.